Man, if we have a tripod, if we don't have a tripod, we don't give a fuck. The genius mind is the resourceful mind. We make shit happen. Now check it out, man. The chief determining factor of an unintelligent mind is the inability to discriminate, distinguish, and discern right from wrong. I'm at the point where I've come to recognize that the majority of the human population lack the capacity to distinguish between what is right and what's wrong. Then we have this age-old moral debate that comes into play, where people truly believe that there is even a room for debate instead of a discussion amongst facts. You can discuss facts, you can't debate facts. Now let's get deeper. People think that there's a debate between right and what's wrong. Certain things in this universe are governed by just impersonal law and inviolable law, for example. So when it comes to certain shit is just right and shit is just wrong. Shit is just an error, right? That's the word we're looking for. There are errors in this world, and then there's correct behavior. Whatever you are, your world is yours. I have conversations with people all the time that literally are living afflicted existences that literally, if we replicated any of their behavior patterns that they fight for, that they apparently don't believe is wrong, it would literally increase the degree of constriction in our lives or decrease the degree of personal freedom that we have in our lives. Therefore, we have an objective basis of understanding why the fuck not to be like most people, right? Now check it out. When I used to smoke, when I used to drink, when I used to fuck around, I knew deep down that I was actually doing the wrong thing. I knew deep down that what I was doing was against my own personal interests, right? But the compromise, the awareness of the actual compromise, the awareness of the actual detriment in the face of the perceived benefit didn't really outmatch the idea of the perceived benefit. Most of y'all are perceiving benefits, but perceived benefit, as I wrote in the Best Kept Secret, does not convey actual benefit, right? So when I was smoking, when I was drinking, when I was still going against myself, when I was still breaking universal laws, when I was still living that selfish life and that low vibrational life, still trying to insist on how I want to see things and all this other shit, not living by universal law, I knew deep down that I was still doing the wrong thing, but the perceived benefit outweighed the actual factual detriment that I was causing myself, right? But let's look at these words, perceived benefit. Simply because you perceive a benefit in a situation does not constitute an actual benefit, right? So now we go back to these objective laws of life, these objective laws of the universe, the basics, science, measurable, quantifiable, qualitative assessments, qualitative and quantitative assessments of data to bring forth understanding, right? This is just basic statistical analysis. I'm also at the comprehension now that most people simply lack comprehension, and it's very difficult, near impossible. I'm questioning myself as a philosopher at this point, whether or not people can be taught comprehension. You understand? Because you could break things down. I break things down. It's only been 3 minutes since I made this video, and I've already said a lot. You could break down the most simple shit in the most simple way, but at the end of the day, it seems to me that if the inability to comprehend is present, then at the end of the day, it is what it is. And it goes back to the fundamental purpose of this video, which is that at the end of the day, the fundamental chief basis of an unintelligent mind is the inability to determine, discriminate, and distinguish correct from error, right? Not being able to actually see the error in one's own ways is literally going to be the downfall of most people. Now, out there, I know that there are wise and sensible people who are aware that they're ruining their own lives, and who are aware that their time is ticking, and who are aware of how and why they have habits that no longer need to be there. I'm also aware that there are plenty of dumb fucks out there who actually just are we can't help you. You're just one of them, you feel me? But to the people that are wise out there, remember this. Every time you have a desire to indulge in these particular behaviors, recognize that you're seeking strength from without yourself. This is a part of the second half of the Best Kept Secret, which is titled You Were Born Perfect. Recognize that in all of these instances where you're now reaching for these tools to create inner strength or to cultivate strength for a moment, not in a moment, but for a moment, recognize that that's exactly what you're seeking. You're seeking strength, and you're causing yourself defect, you're causing yourself detriment, you're causing yourself harm, because the perceived benefit of the perceived strength, which isn't actual benefit, which isn't actual strength, outweighs your sensibilities towards the recognition of what you know is actually deleterious, actually detrimental, and actually harmful to the constitution of your mind, body, and soul. Whatever you are, your world is yours. So recognize that in all of these moments, you're being availed the most indispensable resource for the soul's growth, for all growth of all souls, which is quote unquote adversity, which is quote unquote discomfort, which is a situation and a circumstance that you are now able to fine tune and adjust your conduct to then rise to superior conduct. Superior instructions help you understand the situation so that when you get in the game as the player, I'm the coach, you get in the game, you know how to read the situation to make the best play. So now life is always going to throw you stressful situations, situations that perturb you, perplex you, that disturb your emotions. The question is, are you going to find ways to fine-tune your finer faculties, your more delicate faculties, your mind, your soul, and your body, to the situation so that you can become a refined product? Or are you going to consistently bypass the emotional, spiritual, and mental labor that is required so that in the end you default to using an external tool which actually does not have a benefit? You have a perceived benefit, which is you running away from the moment, but in fact actually has measurable, quantifiable, deleterious, detrimental impact upon the constitution of yourself, does not prolong your life, in fact shortens your life, and shortens and dwindles the quality of your subjective experience. I used to smoke, I used to drink, I know what it's like to have a hangover, I know what it's like to have withdrawals, I know what it's like to have purple lips and have low oxygen in your blood, I know what it's like to be on the outside of all of this as well. So the best part about an individual like me is that I know where you're at. You have yet to achieve and attain the space that I'm at, which is actually putting yourself into slavery, experiencing slavery, and then freeing yourself from slavery so that you actually have a contrast model, as opposed to an individual who never has been a slave and who has lived a free life but doesn't really know the value of freedom, nor can they assess it and measure it against anything else. Whatever you are, your world is yours. Consider vibrations raised. So many people are going to come up with so many faulty ass arguments or whatever the fuck. Basically, they're just attached to their losing system, and fundamentally they are looking to do the least and get the most. When you realize that the price of any worthy attainment in this life is the exact, precise, unerring amount of effort required, then you're going to realize that the most economic activity that you can indulge in is actually paying the exact amount of effort that the universe requires, so that you don't waste time trying to cheat. Because when you do cheat, you're going to cheat yourself. You're going to waste your own time. You're going to waste your own health. You're going to waste your own money. You're going to waste your own energy. So at the end of the day, effort is really free. Once you get the guidance and you get the blueprint, from there it is what it is. Whatever you are, your world is yours. Listen, baseline sign of poor intelligence is the inability to discriminate what is right from what is wrong. You're going to encounter so many people who are going to try to enter debates with you about what is right and what is wrong, what is sahih, what is ghalt, what is an error and what is correct. It is what it is. If we decide to take on your habit pattern that you're fighting for, will we move towards increased liberty, increased freedom, or will we move towards decreased freedom, decreased liberty, aka increased constriction, increased restriction, and increase in the decrease of the quality of our own existence? Whatever you are, your world is yours. We're going to get it all, but before that, we're going to be it all. I value my state of existence, the subjective existence, the quality of the subjective existence more than anything that I could ascertain in this world, whether that be through getting or through internal cultivation, right? But the internal cultivation is where it's at, because no matter where you are, there you are. So I could have 1 million, I could have 0. I could have a mansion, I could be under a bridge, but given the mindset that I have, it would be inconceivable for me to have to be under a bridge. It would be inconceivable for me to not have money, to have to not have money. I choose this at this point. Y'all done seen me hit the top, bro. Now I'm just on earth, actually living on the turf, you feel me? But you have to go through these phases. You have to get the muscles, you have to get the sobriety, you have to master the physical existence and actually be the individual worthy of attaining certain things. And then from there you can denounce it. You can't denounce it if you simply lack the will, lack the heart, lack the resolve, lack the intelligence, and lack the superior conduct to get the result that you're now trying to denounce simply because you don't want to pay the effort and you're a lazy fuck. Whatever you are, your world is yours. Consider the vibrations raised. I can't make this shit easier for nobody else. Listen, if you don't have the capacity to discriminate right from wrong, you're going to be living a very karmically frictionful, disastrous life. If you do, and you know that you were like me, where I knew I was doing wrong, it's time for you to step the fuck up, drop the bullshit, and give yourself the most joyful experience that life can afford you through your affordance, through what you pay with your conduct. Life can never afford you more than you can afford through your conduct. So your conduct is going to pay for your existence. Consider the vibrations raised. Love y'all. We still in Egypt.